This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name's Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and Ryan Daniels. It's the mailbag, Rhino.
Yes, let's go. This episode's brought to you by Woodside Energy, a proud major sponsor of the Fremantle Football Club, supporting local footy from grassroots to greatness.
Sorry.
So we can thrive.
Patrick.
I was just going to say, I imagine you'll be fairly heavy in these questions today.
Yeah.
If I was a gambling man,
I haven't looked at them.
I would think that you'd get a mention or
Be
two.
a couple of Brian's in there.
Brian.
Patrick, g'day boys. A while back, Pepsi said he'd have Mac Andrew over Dacos and was rightfully laughed at.
Was it Dacos or Harley?
Harley.
Harley.
Yes.
Harley.
I must say he's looking like a genius. Of course, Dacos is clearly a match winner. Andrew's size and ceiling is so unique. I'm trying to think of player comps and where his ceiling might be. What do you have? Also, how good is Swallow? In the immortal words of Brad Pitt in Moneyball, how could you not be romantic about football? Or baseball.
I think Mac Andrew, the ceiling is the roof. The old classic Michael Jordan quote.
Correct. I'm not sure Andrew McCarty used the ceiling theory right either.
No.
I reckon the floor went up. I don't think the ceiling went up. They won one game.
Yeah, he mentioned it at the best and fairest.
He did. Just quickly, I thought it said Harley Reid.
You did say Harley.
Yeah. So, I'm still. Mac was very good on the weekend.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah,
very good.
It's Kyle. Hey, Legends and Xavier. So you got left out. He's going to hit you. I understand that attending a BNF for a team that lost 22 games must be as fun as being the West Coast Crisis comms manager in 2006. And most in attendance were probably wondering why it wasn't cancelled altogether. But could you comment on why West Coast players were at their night of nights and watching Freo on their phones? Do they just dream of playing for Freo, fantasise about Nat 5 pleasing their partners, or are they seeing if there might be some room in the tent for the WA first 18? Penny, for your thoughts. This is in response to the video that came out that was of people at the BNF watching and then responding to Fremantle losing with a cheer.
Okay, so I'm going to say, thankfully, I'm going to use audio from the great Nat 5.
What do the Dockers fans do today? Do they support Collingwood or do they support the Eagles?
So everyone says that. As a West Australian, you should be supporting the West Australian teams, but I can tell you it's not that at all. We'll be going for Collingwood.
That's why.
Jeez, he sounds young there, doesn't
That's
he?
why. You don't have to support the
fresh.
West Australian team. You want them to do no good. They're a rival of yours. You don't want them to be successful. I don't have a problem with it. Fife didn't have a problem with it. I've got no problem with it.
He does sound a lot wearier these days.
I think that might have gone through a phone too, though.
Yeah.
But I just think that the attitude that you, like, it's a final. I'd be watching the final
I
there
think everybody
regardless.
be watching the final. If you like footy.
The vision I saw didn't seem like there was a...
Nah.
It wasn't like the whole crowd erupted. It wasn't like...
So who was that from?
This is Kyle.
So, Kyle, I actually don't think it's an issue watching the footy at all. I think anyone would be watching it if it was a final.
So those rooms are just like 2/3 full of punters, right?
It was pretty... I mean, the fact that you've got your rival playing a final 300 metres up the road while you have to have your BNF in the first week of finals
and
because you didn't make it.
You've had to settle for an MC along the way.
Well, your MC got pulled to go and
Who MC'd?
Tim McMillan.
Okay, cool. Hey, so I did hear the Eagles cheering the Dockers loss.
What cut do you take off the top of that?
No, I don't know. Cut. Just I'll get one back at some point.
This is from in a group chat I'm in with Bland. He was writing, mate. The Dockers stuff. The guy in the footage is Sandy Brock, who was cheering.
Right.
Apparently.
Yes.
Is he not
Suns
Field.
on the list?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, right.
So maybe a little bit of that too.
Yeah, it was a bit of an overreaction.
I reckon West Coast would want 16 other teams to beat Freo every week.
Tim, if Blues fans at a function cheered
vice
Pies
versa.
being knocked out, would anyone care?
No. So there you go.
Rowan, have you seen anything more Dockery than Fife having 2 farewell losses at Optus? It was a very Dockery way to lose. Like, you're down 26, you fight back, crowd just goes, yes, here we go. And it's 3 minutes left and you lose. And had to happen with Swallow as well. And it was just against Gold Coast, who you probably would have picked to play.
Other than Freo supporters, clearly, like that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But every other
Everywhere
fan
else,
in football would have been like, that was the finish you wanted. David Swallow having a shot for goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either wanted that or you wanted Fife. You wanted one of those two guys having a moment. You know when Fife took that contested grab?
Yeah, that was cool.
Like, oh, that's pretty good.
That was cool.
I saw him after the game and just briefly, and I said, mate,
another
that
hug.
mark. And he goes, geez, I felt like I was good again.
How'd you embrace?
Did you a hug,
Slap.
handshake?
We did have a hug, yeah.
Yeah, in footy gear though.
Nah, he was, this was, I shouldn't tell you this. So I'd come from the Freo rooms interviewing Sarong, and then I had to go to the Gold Coast rooms to jump back on the broadcast.
I love how it says I shouldn't be telling you this, but they didn't draw breath. Just kept going.
Well, no, because you've asked now, and now you've opened the lid.
said-
It's not that bad.
Okay.
So then I was walking, and he was walking back the other way to go to the presser because they were making him do a presser. So by that point, he had his coat on and that sort of stuff. So then we saw each other, and then like there's enough of a relationship there. So we stopped, and like we went in for the hug again, and he just said thanks for being fair during the career, and I said, mate, you had an amazing career. So and that was it. It was 2 seconds. But
and then I thought you were going to say,
and then
I got a text from Garlo said, Rhino staff drinks in
and
there.
then
I thought you were going to say you went to his retirement drinks or something.
And then I said, how about that mark? And he was like, I felt like I was good again.
Yeah.
So no, it was nice.
But even he pulled the trigger by foot on one occasion.
He had 4 kicks.
Yeah.
Mate, the one across the field. Everyone held their breath.
Oh, shit, Fluffy, don't kick it there.
No, he's a good fella. The Piper is Pat Voss related to Mitch Marsh. The energy, the aura, the bulk, the bizarre. Would pay good money to see the two Bisons have a chat about life and then wrestle. Well, that's why they called him the Bison.
Yes.
So his nickname is the Bison because he looks like Mitch Marsh.
Mitch is more the Bison, more the chilled out Nick Rynne style.
Yeah. A lot more relaxed.
Paddy Vossi, that first goal he kicked and then sprinted all the way to the boundary.
Amazing.
Like the whole way punching the air and fisting the crowd and stuff.
He's the best. What a win for footy he has been.
Yeah.
That you said who would win the fight? Oh, no, sorry, who would win?
I think Pat Voss.
Oh, the wrestle.
Pat Voss.
Yeah, I think Pat Voss.
But
It's
you'd
about bulk.
probably have them both covered.
Yeah.
P.S. I have an authority from Feathers that Xavier does genuinely dislike Freo. Any niceness is purely an act. Love you guys going to struggle through the off-season without the pods. Feathers is one of your Scarborough.
Feathers is down at the Scarborough Sporty. He's sad, man, on Saturday night. Sad,
Maggie,
man.
g'day, fellas. Just trying to work out how WA Media, Tent Man, here we go, is again going to spin the Freo loss into a discussion about how the league is unfair and interstate teams are so hard done by that it's impossible for them to win a final. Anyways, love the pod. Save swindling beers all season has been a highlight, followed closely by Nick's weather read last week. Come on, Maggie. Alex, juicy one for Rhino. I've seen this rumour raised a couple of times that Freo are targeting Bailey Humphrey. Any validity to this? I have not heard that.
I think I just passed out.
That is the first time I've heard that.
I would say at the Gold Coast Suns,
Back up the truck if you're Gold Coast.
Probably the blank check player is him.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, apart
just
from the
about.
League Two.
Well, I still reckon
Apart from who?
Anderson and Rowell.
Yeah, but they're different. aren't
But
they?
I think even he'd be bigger.
Yeah.
I reckon Rowell and Anderson.
He's the
will do
one
their
where you
thing.
built the base and you that ground, that game breaker.
He could explode to be something, yeah.
Scotty, hey guys, after the success of the Legends game, does the Kangaroos or another poor crowd drawing team throw a curveball draft night and draft Dan Gorringe with his massive fan base and rent-a crowd he has following him around that could pay him rookie contract and would get a revenue boost from extra crowd numbers? At worst, he could play the Jai Amos, no disposals, bring the ball to the ground roll. Also sucked in tent boy.
I actually love that about Dan Gorringe. He's so big now.
Yeah. He's huge.
Well, I'm going to pitch that to him on Thursday.
What are you doing?
What, to come play something?
We just got him on.
Have you?
Triple M. Yeah, so I might say to him, hey, would you be open to being drafted? Because you get paid and they're just going to take your following.
Reece, hey boys, just heard you talk in the over-under about Geelong having to trek to the MCG for their finals, and they're the only one that don't get their home ground advantage. As a Saints fan, was I hallucinating when we played our home final at the MCG in 2023? Same would go for all tenants of Marble Stadium. But poor Geelong, poor Geelong.
I'll give you the hot tip.
right,
Every
mate.
Saints player would rather play at the MCG than
Well, I didn't want to say to Reece that I reckon everybody forgot that you played a final in 2023.
I did as well. Yeah.
Sorry, Reece.
Sorry, Reece.
But yes, poor Geelong. Yeah, that feels hard to say. Warning,
But it is a long drive, those roadworks and shit from Geelong. It's a shit
I didn't mind the
drive.
train ride. I got on
Well,
the train when I went there.
you can't do that as a team.
Dangerfield's not going to get on the train.
They can't
is
get
he?
on the what's the V line?
Warnie, gents, avid listener, love the show, banter and all the rest. Not going to blow on your trumpets any more than you already blow on them yourselves. Okay, why the hell am I writing to you? Well, I've had this idea sitting with me for a few weeks now. Considering all the drama based around the match review panel, the recent Rankin incident, and the weeks it's entailed, it got me thinking. Firstly, why can't they just have a panel of previous players to assist in the decision-making on these on-field incidents, i.e. ex-players making up a panel that review the incident and put forward their recommendations as they have played the game and know full well the action is reckless or in the motion of the footballer trying to play the man/ball on its merits.
Michael Christian
They could then put forward these recommendations to the tribunal before the decision is made. Okay, for the light bulb moment. Well, not really. Just thought it makes a lot of sense. Should they not make the games in finals have a weight of 2 matches? What I mean by this is, should a player get rubbed out for an indiscretion running into finals, the matches are actually worth more. If you consider a player being rubbed out for 4 weeks, he would actually only miss 2 finals games. This is the kicker and what could make it very exciting. What happens if it's an uneven amount of matches? Let's say the player gets a 5-week ban. That would equate to the player being rubbed out for 2.5 matches. How exciting would it be in the middle of a final series that at halftime a marquee player could be activated as the sub? Oh, now I'm into it.
Yeah,
Right, I was confused there.
We're on board.
The sub rule would have some value and excitement, whether they want to activate it or not. But it would certainly be a card that could be played on
It's
that
like-
particular game day and have an anticipation or build up. Sitting here chewing on a Kit Kat, waiting for my call up to AFL HQ.
I'm on it. If they do it like, the WWE, there's like elimination chamber
You
where they're
gotta-
like in a cage
I
and
was
then the
gonna say
timer
music.
on top.
Oh, that's Isaac Rankin's
Go,
music.
Dusty Button.
I'm picturing them like, the wrestlers, like they're so athletic, but running technique at times is a bit,
Yeah.
where they come running
Yeah,
down, running down the race, and in like,
The smoke's going.
I love that.
but also it's the other way around, unfortunately. Grand final, you get doubled.
Yeah,
don't
you double.
Yeah. Jay, do you think pick one is overrated? And can you name a pick one that's lived up to the status as being the best in that draft year, say in the last 15 years?
Cameron
And
Rayner.
should West Coast Eagles trade pick one? Well, you're going to go to Hodgie, but was that 15 years? It's probably longer.
Well, Chris Judd was the best in that
Hodge
draft.
was long.
Judd was pick 3, so you would have.
But he's saying the best in that draft.
That's the age-old.
Best of the draft's a tough one because, but you want to
You get value.
star.
And people don't take a risk at pick one.
Nick
because
Revolt
it's
was the best
safe.
player in his draft, I think, from memory.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Juddy was probably better than Hodgie.
Yeah.
As a player, yeah,
But-
but you'd take the career of Hodgie
Yeah, of course
every.
you would.
There's
every
not
day
so
of
many
the week.
busts. I think,
But would
I
you
think that's
take
the
would you
beauty
take
of pick
Hodges
one.
or Sam Mitchell's in the same draft?
Nah, take Hodgie.
I'd take
Would you?
Two-time Norm.
Brownlow medalist.
Yeah, but didn't get the Brownlow in the right way, did he? Not
No,
saying he didn't
yeah.
get it the right way, but it didn't get the night.
Yeah.
He didn't get the whole thing.
Funny.
Jordan, did Shai Bolton shift the needle for the Dockers, or was his season below what was expected? I reckon below.
Below.
I reckon he had some moments, but
He
not
had,
enough.
he had a couple of hot patches.
Not
yeah.
enough, yeah. Josh, hey fellas, love the pod. Since 2019, Geelong has been in the top 2 each year in terms of average age, top 2 oldest list for 7 years straight. They continually hold on to their veterans and top up their list with mature age recruits, i.e. Sean Manor. Yet remarkably, their injury run is one of the best in the league.
about to say
Going
that.
into the finals this year, they had one player on the injury list, one, and previous years haven't been much worse. West Coast tried the same strategy and were heavily criticised for it, i.e. Zave, held on to their premiership stars with the hopes of trying to continually contend for a flag. But injuries, as we know, ruin the strategy. Shuey, Nadanui, Hearn, Kennedy, Yo, McGovern. My question is, how Geelong have continually held on to ageing stars without significant injuries where West Coast couldn't? Is it the travel? Is it a better strength and conditioning program? Is Nick giving them some advice on herbal remedies for injury management?
On the farm.
I think it's probably as silly as it sounds, the environment in Geelong, clear air, not as much travel.
But still, their old players are still arguably their best.
obviously got a
but
very good strength and
they're
conditioning
their best
team.
players as well. West Coast old players weren't their best.
Well, they
were falling off.
should have been their
Yeah,
best.
I know, but they were starting to fall off rapidly.
Also, one,
But they don't fall off at Geelong. That's what he's saying.
Talking
right?
about, I don't know. Talking
Are
about
they
the health.
rapidly different there? Like you're not required to be at the club for quite as long. Is that right?
They've had that sort of fairly
Yeah.
loose thing,
Yeah.
particularly with the older guys. Yeah.
Have
I
you
think
talking about
fresh
health
air
things?
out there?
Yeah,
It's nice to have a farm.
The farms.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the hose up your ass for health?
Sorry?
You know where they blast the stuff
I
out of you?
haven't. Not for health.
I was looking at that this morning.
What, you just
Not-
go in and
not
they just...
col-
I've seen a few TikToks.
It's not a
where the
colonoscopy,
tube
it's
comes out.
and you put
Colon
it in,
cleanse?
something like
Colon
that. Yeah.
cleanse.
What are you thinking about it, are you?
Yeah, I am.
He's just putting it out there. If anyone wants to offer, he shouts out local businesses on his Instagram.
Is this is this what Geelong's doing, you think?
No, don't know. But in terms of health and aging lists, I don't know. I'll try it. might fix me knee.
Let's do it live on radio. I don't think your knee being an issue is because your colon needs cleansed.
Well, you never know.
You never know, mate.
The gut's wonderful things connected to everywhere.
The gut connects everything, as Rynne
Yeah.
just said.
And you've done it, but not for health.
Yeah, not for health
Mick,
reasons.
do Freo have the least threatening rebound from defensive 50 in the comp?
Yep.
Me, it's too safe. Yeah, you pulled that. It's really just Jordan Clark.
And even he didn't take it on too much. Like,
No,
in the
no,
last
no,
half of the year, I don't think.
Yeah. That's
Oscar,
fair.
with Gold Coast winning against Fremantle and now about to play Brisbane next week in the semis, do you think the Q Clash has the capacity to become a strong rivalry in the AFL?
I think it's got there.
I think it already kind of is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
I
it was
would
like...
put that second behind the showdown in terms of
It was Zorko and
the four-
Took Miller?
the 4
punching
states,
on?
the 4 non-Vic states. Rank the 4.
Showdown.
Showdown
Port.
clear. Who's second?
There's an argument for the Sydney Battle of the Bridge.
I don't think there's enough hate in it.
Oh, they
There's a
get
bit.
spicy.
Yeah,
so
they get
Toby
real
and them
spicy.
get spicy.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, old fat,
feel like a lot of
Tom
it's
Papley.
Yeah, it's Sydney.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's manufactured though.
No,
No,
we
it's
better
not.
hype it up.
What, Toby calling Papley fat on air?
They
Yeah.
laughed about it afterwards, 5 minutes later.
No.
Or
Oh,
at McDonald's. Like, who cares?
Yeah, no,
That's all
I think,
fabricated.
Nah,
I think the Q Clash is genuine hate. Zorko, they hate Zorko.
Oh, I think Toby might hate a few of them.
I think Sydney's ahead of Queensland.
So we agree that
Western
Derby's
Bulldogs,
last?
Derby's
The
last.
Derby's last, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Listen,
Billy,
it's turned into a horrible
once
contest.
again, a distinct lack of leadership shown by the AFL in regards to the homophobia issue. Andrew Dillon, the AFL, failing to condemn the Adelaide crowd for their treatment of Quaynor on Friday night speaks volumes. How do we make any progress in this area when a large percentage of supporters thinks it's okay to boot a player who was on the receiving end of a homophobic slur? Sorry to bring down the vibe of the show, but this issue needs to be discussed. Could not agree more. Like, there's a pack mentality thing that happens sometimes. So you might get a few people who start this booing thing and everyone goes, oh, yeah, we're booing Quaynor. I hope that's what's happened there and not literally 30,000 Adelaide fans booing a person who copped the slur.
It's funny how it happens a lot of the time too, like the victim or whatever is the one that gets booed and stuff. You're like, hey, what have I done?
Didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And I'm the one
out there copping
booed.
it.
Yeah.
Nah, disappointing.
I didn't like it. No.
I don't mind booing when it's like when it's because of like a football act. Like say someone knocks someone out.
Gav and Freo.
Yeah, I get that.
Yes.
That's going to happen. Or if in a game someone takes someone's head off
But
and
then
for the rest of the game that guy gets booed.
vice versa, the bit that is always weird is when, and I didn't know if it happened, but when Andy plays against West Coast, they're like, well, Gaffy got booed, so
Did
we're
he
going
get
to
a
boo
few?
Andy.
He got a few.
And you're like, well, that doesn't make sense.
No,
But I know
you're
what
right,
he's
Billy.
saying. It feels like sometimes the AFL recently is just like to dip their toe into these issues without actually confronting them properly.
I would say the AFL hasn't had, if they had a
bad
360
year.
review session, I don't think they'd say they've had a great year.
No.
I tend to agree. Yeah, I think there's been some things. And you got to remember, like Dylan's a relatively new boss, right? There's a lot of these things that pop up and they're the first time you've dealt with them. Now, he's been around for a really long time.
Yeah, he's
He's
not
been around forever.
He's not a first-time teacher at a town of
But he's
200.
not also-
He's just running the AFL, mate.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, this particular issue has not been handled well.
No.
And Adelaide also have not covered themselves in glory. The way they handled it first, looking for all the excuses in the world, and trying to dance around it.
The only thing I'd say there is, like, my old man's a barrister.
Yeah. Your job is to...
He does not agree with the murderer.
Yeah.
He does not think that the murderer is a good person or the good deed was a good deed, but he has to try everything to minimise the sanction. That's all I would say. So I can't, but it was a shit show from the start.
Aaron, continuing on from your discussion on the second, how well is WA football funded? Do you know how much the AFL spends on Vic development versus WA development of under 18 players?
A
Nick, I'm
shitload
going
more.
to hand this over to you.
No, so the AFL doesn't really tip in a lot to
Through
development
sponsorship
here.
and stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not compared to the Vic stuff where they run it. I think the AFL would love it if they owned West Australian football, if WA football became AFL WA, and then you
But
would
the
see
Footy
a bit more
Commission doesn't
funding.
want that.
No, WA football, that's probably not a good thing for WA football overall. But
Well, it's not going great.
the view is always West Coast or Fremantle, West Coast, there's money in WA football.
But why
you've got
is
money,
it-
you can tap
when you
it.
say that's not a good thing for WA
Yeah,
football,
I don't-
why? Because they lose control?
Because you lose control.
But what are they
But
doing
what
at the
are they doing
moment
with
that's
the
going
control?
unbelievably?
Well, no, it's probably a discussion to be had.
Thanks, Rynne.
Caleb, hi fellas, I've done some auditing. How bad do West Coast have to be to get the 2019 Suns priority package? For context, that was 2019 number 1 and 20, 2020 11 and 2021 19, and improvements to their academy picking. The Suns won 23 games across 2015 to 2019. From 2022 to 2025, the Eagles have won 11 games. It's 12 less. Like the Suns, the Eagles lost an All-Australian caliber defender in Barris and their tall forward captain. Good thing we can rely on the AFL to act consistently on this one. It's being facetious, I think. Sam, one for Zave to read.
I
Do you wanna
can't
this?
read. I'm not good at reading.
All right, I will read it out.
How long is it? Is it long?
No.
Check it in.
Son's Sam. That's Sam one.
Sam. It's a long one.
No, it's just that one bit.
It's a long one.
Give it here.
One for Zave to read. There are moments when life feels hard. You can try your best, but you can never please anyone. Sometimes you just have to sit there, apologise like a resolute Canadian and cop a barrage of moose shit coming your way. But today's not that day. Turns out having an algorithm that works is pretty easy, isn't it? Unlike picking West Coast to be anything other than a complete basket case, it seems Channel 7's so-called footy expert is now just specialising in how to shit himself at a swim-up bar in Seminyak and not much else.
Jesus.
But it's not all that bad news. Ryan's looking the best he ever has.
Oh.
What else do you expect when Captain Coxmack's been thriving on a diet of anything but Kit Kats? Love the pod. Well, 2/3 of it. Yours truly, the Canadian fixture enthusiast.
Jesus Christ. Off, Sam.
I was reading that hesitantly, trying to skip ahead to see where I was getting shit canned. I would have given that so much more enthusiasm and passion if I knew it was going to land on you, Daniels.
I got to read on that pretty quickly. Ollie, hello, boys. Would be keen to hear some examples of players who were given long careers on the back of being a high draft pick despite never really getting close to their assumed potential. Watching Sam Day on the weekend, it's hard to believe he was a number 3 pick back in the day. Never a great sign when a 32-year-old key forward has more games than goals. Yeah, well, he was in the Swallow. It was Swallow, Bennell, and Day.
Yeah.
And then Gaff was the 4th pick.
Yeah, and then he was fine. He's got a lot of injuries and stuff. But yeah, he's. I think there's more. People last longer if you're taller.
Yeah, it's more of a height thing than a draft pick.
Definitely, height can keep you in the league for a long time.
What do they say?
If you got 10, if you go to AFL football, if you get drafted, you got 3 years to prove you can play football.
Yeah.
But if you're
tall,
near 200 centimetres, you got 10 years to prove you can't.
Yeah, that's right. Zeke, good afternoon, lads. I listen to every episode, and this is the first time writing in. Welcome, Zeke. While the top teams continue to train, play, and improve over the finals, the bottom teams just sit on their asses and wonder why they are so behind on talent. I personally think 18th, 17th, 16th, and 15th should play against each other every week while the finals are playing. On top of this, the winner of the bottom 4 in, let's say, a Swiss system will get the number 1 draft pick, whereas the last of the 4 will get the 4th pick. Also, 14th to 9th should also do the same, as well as however they will be playing for the 5th pick. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it,
Make
but
them
for
play.
mine, I'd rather
Send them to rural
the
grounds.
AFL drop the AFLPA's restrictions on coaching and training for 13 weeks of the year or whatever it is. They have no access to the players. Way too much. Even we had Andrew McQualter on the other day. He's like, mate, it's outrageous. It's too long. You got these young kids need to be in the footy club, lifting every day, running every day, swimming
Very
every
hard
day,
to
kicking
improve
every
them.
day.
Yeah. You're relying a lot on self-motivation.
And it doesn't happen.
This can stop the tanking, keep the bottom teams fit. It can also allow
I like the
to
idea.
get some game time. Mitch, hey guys, condolences for the Freo loss, especially Big Pepsi, who's been their biggest supporter this year. Do you think they need to target a particular position this off-season or just rely on the team to improve the experience? Also, question for Ryan. I've heard rumours Bobby Hill might be looking to come home. I know he only re-signed a Collingwood this year, but there's obviously stuff going on in his life away from football. Just wondering if you've heard anything. There's been a lot of chatter about Bobby Hill. I've checked in a bunch of times. I keep being told he's not coming home. I don't think the interest from Fremantle and West Coast is as strong as it would need to be to force it. Gold Coast did kick the tyres on a Bobby Hill situation. I don't know how far that got down the line. There's a lot going on for him. So he's got to get himself right personally first and then worry about footy. I'd love the position if they can get McVee into that team. Bit of defensive nous, bit of power. I know we're not overrating Judd McVee, but they went for Pickett. There's not that many stars available.
Yeah, no. If they could somehow land a halfback with or find a midfielder who's just missing a few screws and just take the game on.
Yeah, loose unit.
just take
Chad
the
Warner
game
would have
on.
been the guy.
Just take
It's
it
funny
on.
because the guys they've gone for are the ones you want.
Take
Chad
the
Warner,
game on.
Cozzy, Pickett.
Off halfback though, they need someone down there. There's got a bit of courage to take it on.
Null. Is it true TPP has increased in the last couple of seasons, but the categories for free agency compensation hasn't? Carlton getting a first-round pick for Silvani seems wild. He's right. That's true.
Has the Rangers not moved with the salary caps?
Mate, the categories for free agency compensation, it is a mystery.
Yeah,
it's like the
right.
Colonel's KFC recipe. No one actually really knows 100% how to do it.
All I know is when Hawthorn lost Buddy,
Yeah.
they got picked 19 and Melbourne got picked 2 for Chip Frawley.
Yep, exactly. It's all over the shop. Cameron Gray, g'day lads. In regards to what you were talking about with the All-Australian selection, having blokes from different states advocating for players, made me think of Matty Lloyd's comments in response to Andrew McQualter's comments about Ruben Ginbey missing the 22 under-22 side. Lloydie said something to the effect of, yeah, well, that's what happens when your team's no good. Players get missed. Insinuating that if your team is shit, then nobody is watching. This is fine when you're talking about fans, but if you're talking about journalists, All-Australian selectors, 22 under 22, etc., they should be watching every game and knowing every player if they're serious about their job because, it's their job. It makes me think of Brad Shepherd. He was playing outstanding footy for a few seasons before he got any acknowledgement outside West Coast supporters. And Brady Hoff has barely been acknowledged outside WA and was snubbed from 22 under 22 last year, even though the last few years he was looking down the game's best small forwards and giving them an absolute bath. Lazy or Vic bias. It's all part of the Vic bias. It's all wrapped in. They ignore the teams over here.
No, but the first point, forget the Vic Bias stuff. None of those big celebrity, big dogs on big money who are in the watching shit West Coast. They're just not.
But if you're on the panels,
No, but that's why I say limit it, pay them well, and say you have to watch every game. And I want to see a report card, at the end of every round.
I don't think it's insane to think that those of us who are in the media and are lucky enough to be in a job that is almost hilarious that someone pays you to do it, and some people get paid extraordinarily well to watch 9 games of football. Is it that hard?
No, but if it wasn't my job to pick the All-Australian team, I wouldn't be watching.
But what if it was?
No, if I was paid to do it, 100% I'd watch it.
Because
naturally, as we said last week, you watch 5. Thursday night, Friday
But
night.
I don't reckon half of these blokes are watching 5.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I can't speak to that.
I don't know.
I like saying that. I
can't speak to that.
I can't speak.
I can't speak to that. Josh, Nick, what's the forecast for the week? Thinking of laying some concrete on Wednesday.
Actually,
so need some accurate weather data. Moon and tide's not relevant to the job, but might be nice to know. What do you got?
What days do you want to get out?
Wednesday. He wants Wednesday concrete.
Wednesday. 95% chance of no rain. No fire day. Mostly sunny, light winds. Get out there.
What's the Tides doing?
The Tides?
Yeah,
I've got to get back to the Tides. Hang on. I found that by accident. The wind, the seas are below 1 metre, wind easterly 10 to 15 knots, tending south to southeasterly during the day, then tending east to southeasterly during the evening. Southwesterly swell 1 to 1.5 metres.
Would you say good for concreting?
Yeah, I'd say that's the day to get out there.
Good concrete weather?
Yeah.
All right. This is from Brown Dog. Huh.
Oh.
Still trying to work out what that means.
Which one? This one goes out to my boy Nick Rynne. After what was a heartbreaking night for us Docker supporters, I at least had one memorable moment come out of the night, meeting the media legend that is Nick Rynne. I got the pleasure of meeting the analytical footy mind of Nick, and after having a brief chat with him about the state of the game during the second quarter, the main piece of advice I took from him was where the best toilet was with no queues was. Yeah. Later that night, after the game had finished and I was wallowing in my sorrows, my brother was asked to take a photo of some random family as we were walking out. So being the pest that I was, I jumped in behind and photobombed the family portrait, only to find out 10 minutes later that they were actually getting a group photo with Rove McManus, and I was none the wiser. If this isn't a metaphor to the current celebrity status in WA, then I don't know what is. I could pick out Nick Rynne from 50 metres away in a crowd full of people, yet I was standing 3 feet behind Rove, pulling a stupid face in a random family photo and not having a clue he was there. He just doesn't command the respect and presence of the public around him like Nick does. Anyways, keep up the good work, lads. Keep wearing that Northampton Rams hat, Nick. Try harder to hide your devastation and emotion when interviewing Caleb Sarong post-game, tent man. And feel free to sling a few cartons up Jerry's way, father of Tom, as we are in short supply at the moment. There's the picture of the great man, Brown Dog, with you.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh, well done, Brown Dog.
I had to look. It's the losing rooms. I can't go in there and be like, hey, Caleb.
Hey, boys.
How about that result? Like, I've got to be sad. You've got to.
How good was Dave Swallow?
Plus, you're also trying to be quiet. Everyone in there is miserable.
Yes.
And you're like, Caleb.
Yeah.
Shut up.
He was brilliant on the weekend.
Yeah, he was, wasn't
he's
he?
enormous.
Matt from Brizzy. With the Lions coughing up Friday night, my weekend was already flatter than a Nick Rynne intro until up pops big tent boy on the Harders story. That face. We've all had that face. Full-time siren, opposition carrying on like they've just discovered Uber Eats delivers to Rottnest, and you're stuck realising your season's cooked harder than Big Pepsi in an endorsed sauna. Daniel, stop the charade. You're not fooling anyone. Deep down, you're a Freo boy. The purple runs through you. It's written in the stars, or at least in the fine print of impending BCF contract. Embrace the tent. Embrace the sponsorships. Next stop, a signature range of camping tents. Waterproof, tier-proof, finals-proof. Comes with free purple pegs for all the closet supporters out there. And if you order now, you'll score free 4 6-packs of single fin inside a Channel 7 box that leaks quicker than a Tom Morris group chat. Big Tent Boy isn't just a meme now, he's a lifestyle. He's WA's Batman, except instead of a Batmobile and breaking Kit Kats, he rocks up in a Hilux, it's a Prado, with roof racks and black Lycra. There we go. Thank you very much, Matt. That's not bad.
I love how people now believe that could be your storyline. Like, Rynne's a stoner.
Yeah.
You're a Freo supporter.
Tent man.
You live in a tent.
Frank, legends. All the talk going into the Cats game was how our easy draw, yet we come out with unbelievable pressure. And we're in complete control of the game apart from the rain and blip. We probably deserve to win by 10 goals.
Yeah.
My question is, why does Geelong get disrespected every year given our incredible record? Our game style isn't necessarily boring, but is it because everyone else finds us boring and doesn't want us to see us there again? Genuinely curious. Cheers, love the pod. Yeah, that's it.
I'd say option B, yeah.
Everybody's just sick and tired.
Yeah.
We're heading for a Collingwood Geelong grand final.
Yeah.
And
It's boring.
what? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Great.
No. And
Respect
look,
for getting there.
I have not been off Geelong until this year. Now I'm off them. He's going to bite me on the arse.
Also,
but-
there's a little bit of like the last time they were in a grand final and it was just a boring grand final. They just belted Sydney. Like, we don't want that.
Oh, yeah.
Frank, Legends, all the talk going into the... Oh, that's the same one. Can't beautifully.
Woodside read.
Joanna, hey, question for X. Why do you always talk about the teams starting with G in the wrong order when you go through the teams in alphabetical order? You always go with GWS, Geelong, and then Gold Coast, when the correct order should be Geelong, Gold Coast, and GWS. Is this an oversight or because you like Geelong and GWS more?
So it's because it's written somewhere. I take it off in that order.
Is it?
So when do I read the teams out, by the way?
Sure.
The over-under review?
Over and under, yeah. I don't. It's written somewhere like that, and is it because...
Is it you have some sort of bias? Is it ingrained in you?
Vic bias.
Is it because you go, Geelong's a Vic team, they're big boys?
Yeah, you've
We'll
got a
do
bit of
them
Vic
first.
bias still
Don't
lingering.
know. There's no bias towards any of them, but I don't know. That's how I pulled it off an order somewhere. I don't know. I looked at it and thought it was weird too.
Okay.
So apologies.
Got a fair few female.
Yeah, we love that.
today. This is good.
Ever
Our
since I
female-
brought that cologne out, mate.
Stuart, am I crazy that the Crows should be calling Zach Merrett's manager on Monday win or lose?
Yes, 100%.
He'd
He'd be
be
brilliant.
Yeah,
at
It'd
Crows.
just
cool.
be perfect for them. Brad, what would the line be for Never Again North this week against Adelaide, and would Tugger take it?
The line between
Against
North
Adelaide.
and Adelaide,
North and Adelaide.
if they were playing.
Bookies would put up 35 and I'd take it.
Tugger. I like that. It's a good one.
I guess.
Stefan, someone check on Pastor Mark. Up the Suns. God bless. Sherwood 161. Good work, Big Pepsi. Year 7 science did you well. The moon rises 50 minutes later each day.
50.
There you go.
What time does it rise today? You got the moon chart?
I'm getting stuff up. Keep talking.
Time for the conspiracy. It's from Raheem. The most notable omission for the first weekend of finals wasn't a player for any of the 8 clubs, but rather an umpire. More specifically, everyone's favourite goal umpire, David Rodan.
Yes.
Known for being decisive in his decisions, he is exactly what the AFL doesn't want for the next few weeks.
I get one of
There's
you.
already a long-standing conspiracy that the AFL wants more score reviews due to the deal in place with Crypto.com. Remember that?
Yep, we know that.
And if you throw in the increase of viewership due to the finals, you can see where this is going. Knowing the great man doesn't second-guess himself and makes a call then and there, the higher-ups have stood him down for the finals so they can bring in a few more dollars at lesser umpires second-guess themselves and call for a review every time a ball is kicked even remotely close to a goal.
Yep. No, that's not even a
Bang on.
conspiracy.
That's
just
right there.
it.
Bang
That's
on.
it.
There was one the other day. Can't remember which game it was in. The ball was about half a metre in.
Yeah.
It got touched. I was like,
Nah.
how could you possibly need a review for that?
They touched it or marked it. I think we're thinking of the same one. I think they marked it. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah. And then
I think it was
yeah.
the Adelaide Collingwood
might have been
game.
the Adelaide
It was
There's a mark.
75 centimetres.
Darcy Moore took
in.
it?
I can't remember.
Some,
I
yeah.
remember just thinking, what are we doing here? That was very good. This episode is brought to you by the Woodside Energy, a proud major sponsor of the Fremantle Football Club, supporting local footy from grassroots to greatness.